The breaking point. Commander Sophia Chen stood at the observation deck of Orbital Station Harmony, her eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the remains of new lunar research station. 24 hours ago, it had been humanity's most advanced outpost, home to 3,000 scientists, engineers, and their families. Now it was nothing but debris floating in the cold vacuum of space. "Run the footage again," she ordered, her voice tight with controlled anger. The AI complied. The recording showed a fleet of obsidian vessels appearing from what looked like tears in space itself. There was no warning, no communication attempt. The ships, clearly not of human design, simply opened fire, methodically reducing the station to atoms. The attack lasted less than 7 minutes. "Analysis confirms they're Varan vessels," said Admiral Takashi, stepping onto the deck. His weathered face showed the strain of sleepless nights. "We've had minimal contact with them before. Always distant, always cautious." "This wasn't caution," Sophia replied. "This was extermination." The Varan Empire had been known to humanity for only 15 years. An advanced spacefaring civilization, with technology centuries beyond Earth's capabilities, they had kept their distance, engaging in limited trade but never showing interest in diplomatic relations. Humanity had respected their space, even as they expanded their own colonies. "We found something in the data burst New Luna managed to transmit before destruction," Takashi said, gesturing to his neural interface. A new hologram appeared, showing what appeared to be a strategic map. Their AI managed to decrypt part of a transmission between the Varan vessels. Sophia studied the display, her blood turning cold. The map showed every human colony, outpost, and research station, with precisely calculated attack vectors and timestamps. New Luna had been first. Earth itself was marked for last. "This isn't random," she whispered. "This is systematic extermination." "The Security Council is convening in an hour," Takashi said. "Every nation on Earth, every colony representative. For the first time in human history, we face an existential threat that makes our differences irrelevant." Sophia's neural implant pinged with an incoming priority message. Dr. Maya Okonkwo, her former roommate at the academy and now Earth's leading xenobiologist, appeared in her visual field. "Sophia, I need you at Geneva. Immediately. I found something in the new Luna data, something about the Varan, that changes everything." Within 12 hours, the United Earth Defense Council convened in the emergency chamber beneath Lake Geneva. What had once been a fallout shelter designed for nuclear war between nations was now humanity's war room against an alien threat. Dr. Okonkwo stood before the assembled leaders, her holographic displays showing molecular structures that meant nothing to most in attendance. "The Varan attacked New Luna because of what we discovered," she began. "They believed they destroyed all evidence, but they were wrong. New Luna's quantum entanglement transmitter sent everything to our secure servers moments before destruction." She manipulated the display, zooming in on what appeared to be a cellular structure. "The Varan are not what we thought. Their biology is based on silicon, not carbon, but that's not what makes them unique. They exist partially in another dimensional state, which explains their advanced technology. However, this dual existence creates a fundamental vulnerability." The room fell silent as she continued. "Their consciousness exists in quantum superposition. It's what allows their ships to travel through space in ways we can't comprehend. But it also means they can be disrupted. New Luna found a way to create targeted quantum field disruptions that could effectively neutralize Varan technology, and potentially the Varan themselves." Admiral Takashi leaned forward. "Are you suggesting we have a weapon?" "Not yet," Maya replied. "But we have the theoretical foundation for one. With global cooperation and resources, we could develop it within months, not years." The Chinese premier's hologram flickered as she spoke. "The Varan fleet will reach our outer colonies within weeks. We don't have months." UN Secretary-General Adeyemi stood, his voice resonating through the chamber. "Then we buy time. We evacuate what colonies we can. We fight delaying actions, And most importantly, we dedicate every resource on Earth to developing this technology. Sophia watched as the greatest minds of humanity began to formulate what would become known as the Total War Directive. For the first time in history, every nation on Earth agreed to a complete unification of military, economic, and scientific resources. There would be no borders, no proprietary research, no competitive advantage. Humanity would stand as one or fall as one. Within days, the transformation began. Automotive factories retooled to produce components for defense systems. Pharmaceutical companies redirected research toward understanding Varan biology. The world's most powerful quantum computers were networked into a single system dedicated to solving the theoretical problems of cross-dimensional warfare. Commander Chen found herself appointed as the head of Project Prometheus, a diverse team of military strategists, scientists, and engineers tasked with developing not just defensive capabilities, but a comprehensive battle plan for humanity's counterattack. "We can't think conventionally," she told her team during their first briefing. "The Varan have technology we can't match, but technology isn't everything. History has shown repeatedly that superior technology doesn't guarantee victory. We need to think differently." Dr. Wai Lu, a theoretical physicist who had once been considered fringe for his work on quantum consciousness, became the cornerstone of the program. His theories had been dismissed by the scientific community for years, but now they represented humanity's best hope. "The Varan perceive reality differently than we do," he explained to Sophia during a late-night session. "Their consciousness exists partially in what we might call quantum space. It's what makes their technology so advanced. They're not building devices to manipulate physics. They're using their natural connection to quantum reality." "And that's their weakness?" Sophia asked. "Precisely. Their perception is fundamental to their existence. If we can disrupt that perception, create what amounts to a quantum illusion, we can potentially neutralize their technological advantage." The development of quantum perception disruptors began immediately, but Sophia knew weapons alone wouldn't be enough. Humanity needed a new kind of soldier, one who could operate in environments the Varan controlled. The Neural Enhancement Program was controversial, but necessity overrode ethical concerns. Volunteers underwent experimental procedures to integrate advanced neural interfaces directly with their limbic systems, allowing for unprecedented reaction times and decision-making capabilities. Sophia was among the first to undergo the procedure. The initial Varan attacks on the outer colonies were devastating. Jupiter's mining outposts fell within hours. The Mars Defense Fleet managed to evacuate 70% of the civilian population before being overwhelmed. Each defeat was studied, analyzed, with every scrap of data feeding into humanity's growing understanding of Varan tactics and technology. 3 months after the first attack, the breakthrough came. Dr. Lu's team successfully created a stable quantum field disruptor. Early tests showed it could temporarily destabilize Varan technology within a limited radius. "It's not enough," Sophia told the Defense Council. "We need to deploy these on a massive scale, and we need carriers who can get close enough to Varan ships to activate them." The solution came from an unexpected source. Dr. Isabelle Renault, a French nanomedicine specialist, proposed adapting her cancer treatment nanotech to carry quantum disruptors. "We can program the nanites to seek out the specific quantum signature of Varan technology," she explained. "Once they attach, they can generate synchronized disruption fields. Thousands of tiny disruptors instead of one large one." The first prototype was ready for testing 2 weeks later. Using captured Varan technology salvaged from battlefield debris, the team confirmed that the nanites could effectively neutralize Varan systems. Admiral Takashi, reviewing the results, asked the question everyone had been avoiding. "How do we deploy these against an enemy that can detect our ships long before we get within range?" Sophia had been working on that problem with a team of unconventional thinkers, historians, game theorists, and military strategists from cultures around the world. "We don't try to hide," she said. "We make ourselves a target too tempting to ignore." Operation Trojan Horse was born. Humanity would appear to commit its remaining military strength to defending Earth itself, creating the illusion of a last stand. The Veyron, believing they faced a desperate but conventional defense, would commit their main fleet. They wouldn't realize until too late that each human vessel was carrying billions of nanite disruptors, programmed to activate the moment they came within range of Veyron ships. As the alien fleet approached Earth orbit, humanity prepared for the most consequential battle in its history. Either they would turn the tide, or Earth would fall. There was no middle ground. Sophia stood on the bridge of the UES Defiant, humanity's newest and most advanced destroyer. Around her, crews worked with quiet efficiency, their neural enhancements allowing them to process information and react with superhuman speed. "The Veyron fleet has passed Mars orbit," reported Lieutenant Kamala Singh. "They'll be within deployment range in approximately 4 hours." Sophia nodded, her mind already running through contingencies. The plan was solid, but war was unpredictable, especially war against an enemy that perceived reality itself differently. "Send the signal to all ships," she ordered. "Begin final preparations. We get one shot at this." As Earth grew smaller behind them, Sophia thought about what humanity had accomplished in just a few months. Faced with extinction, they had set aside centuries of conflict and division to unite against a common threat. They had pushed the boundaries of science and technology, achieving breakthroughs that might have taken decades under normal circumstances. Whether they lived or died in the coming battle, humanity had already proven something important. When pushed to the brink, they were capable of extraordinary things. The Veyron had gravely miscalculated when they chose humanity as a target. They were about to learn exactly what happens when humans declare total war. Counterattack. The Veyron fleet emerged from quantum space exactly where Sophia had predicted. 117 vessels of varying sizes, their obsidian hulls absorbing light rather than reflecting it, creating an impression of moving voids against the starfield. At the center of the formation was the Dominance, a behemoth nearly 5 kilometers in length that served as the fleet's command ship. "All ships maintain position," Sophia ordered, her enhanced neural interface distributing the command simultaneously to every vessel in the human defense fleet. "Let them come to us." On the tactical display, the Veyron fleet began to spread out into an attack formation that had proved devastatingly effective against humanity's outer colonies. They clearly expected a repeat of those earlier engagements, desperate human resistance crushed by superior technology and overwhelming firepower. "They're scanning us," reported Lieutenant Singh. "Quantum signatures indicate they're preparing weapon systems." Sophia nodded, watching the alien fleet's movements with calculated intensity. Everything depended on timing now. Deploy the nanites too early, and the Veyron would detect the threat and withdraw. Too late, and the human fleet would be destroyed before the plan could be executed. "All ships, initiate chameleon protocol," she commanded. Throughout the fleet, specialized emitters activated, projecting quantum field patterns designed to mimic the signatures of significantly more powerful weapons than the human vessels actually carried. It was a bluff, but one based on careful study of how the Veyron perceived quantum energy states. The alien fleet hesitated, their formation temporarily losing coherence as they processed the unexpected readings. "They're recalibrating their approach," Singh reported, "reducing speed. It's working. They think we've developed new weapons technology." "Good," Sophia replied. "That will make them cautious. Cautious means closer engagement range." Dr. Maya Okonkwo's voice came through the neural link. "Commander, the nanite deployment systems are ready. We've made a final adjustment to their programming based on the Veyron's current quantum signature. They'll be more effective than our simulations predicted." For the next hour, the two fleets engaged in a tense standoff, the Veyron gradually closing the distance, but maintaining a defensive posture that would have been prudent against the weapons they believed they were facing. "They're within optimal deployment range," Singh announced. Sophia took a deep breath. This was the moment that would determine humanity's fate. "All ships, execute Operation Trojan Horse." Throughout the human fleet, Specialized launchers activated, releasing clouds of nanites so small they were virtually undetectable against the backdrop of space. Propelled by microscopic ion drives, the nanites surged toward the Varen fleet, billions of tiny warriors carrying humanity's most sophisticated weapon. The Varen detected the deployment almost immediately, but misinterpreted what they were seeing. Their sensors, designed to detect energy weapons and conventional projectiles, registered the nanite cloud as a primitive missile attack. They responded with point defense systems, energy beams lancing out to intercept what they believed were explosive projectiles. "They don't understand," Sophia said, watching the tactical display. "Perfect." The energy weapons actually accelerated the nanites, the heat causing their ion drives to surge. Within minutes, the first wave reached the outer vessels of the Varen fleet. Upon contact with the alien hulls, the nanites attached themselves and began generating synchronized quantum disruption fields. The effect was immediate and dramatic. Varen ships began to lose power, their quantum-based technology disrupted by fields specifically calibrated to interfere with their operating principles. Communication between vessels broke down as their quantum entanglement systems failed. "It's working," Singh reported, unable to keep the excitement from her voice. Multiple Varen vessels showing critical systems failures. But the Varen weren't defenseless. As more ships were affected, the fleet's central command appeared to realize the true nature of the attack. The unaffected vessels began to generate quantum field barriers, creating safe zones that the nanites couldn't penetrate. "They're adapting," Sophia noted. As expected, Lieutenant Singh, signal phase 2. The human fleet suddenly accelerated, each ship targeting a specific Varen vessel. This was the most dangerous part of the plan. Conventional engagement with an enemy that, even partially disabled, remained technologically superior. "All personnel, neural enhancement protocols at maximum," Sophia ordered. Throughout the fleet, crews activated the full potential of their neural interfaces. Reaction times dropped to milliseconds. Decision-making processes that would normally take seconds occurred almost instantaneously. Human brains, augmented by the most advanced technology Earth could produce, operated at peak efficiency. The Defiant targeted a Varen cruiser already suffering from nanite disruption. Its defensive systems were functioning at approximately 40% capacity, according to sensor readings. "Targeting solutions locked," reported the weapons officer, his enhanced mind processing targeting data faster than any computer. "Ready to fire on your command." "Execute," Sophia ordered. The Defiant's main batteries fired in perfect sequence, each shot precisely calculated to impact vulnerable points on the Varen vessel. Under normal circumstances, the alien ship's defensive fields would have easily absorbed such an attack. But with its systems compromised, critical hits penetrated its hull. Similar scenes played out across the battlefield as human ships engaged their designated targets. It wasn't a fair fight. It was never meant to be. Humanity had no interest in proving they could defeat the Varen in conventional combat. This was about survival, and they would use every advantage they could create. "The Dominance is launching fighter craft," Singh reported. "They appear unaffected by the nanites." Sophia had anticipated this. The Varen command ship would have redundant systems and stronger quantum field barriers. "Deploy the QEMPs," she ordered. From the rear of the human formation, specialized vessels launched quantum electromagnetic pulse devices, massive versions of the disruptors carried by the nanites. They detonated in a carefully planned pattern around the Dominance, creating overlapping fields of quantum disruption. The effect was like watching a power grid fail during a blackout. Section by section, the massive Varen flagship began to lose functionality. Its fighter craft, suddenly cut off from their command systems, became erratic and uncoordinated. For 2 hours, the battle raged across Earth's orbital space. Human vessels, despite taking heavy damage, systematically disabled or destroyed Varen ships. Neural-enhanced crews performed with precision that would have been impossible months earlier, their reaction times and coordination giving them an edge that partially offset the aliens' technological advantage. Finally, only the Dominance remained, drifting powerless among the debris of its fleet. Sophia ordered all remaining human ships to surround it but maintain distance. "Open a communication channel," she instructed. "Let's see if they can understand us now." Using frequencies previously observed in Veyron communications, the Defiant broadcasts a simple message. "Your fleet is destroyed. Your attack on humanity has failed. We offer one opportunity for surrender." For several minutes, there was no response. Then, a transmission came through, visual rather than the quantum-based communication the Veyron typically used. On the main display appeared a figure that only vaguely resembled a humanoid form. Its body seemed to shift between solid and translucent states, a visual representation of its dual-dimensional existence. "Your resistance was unexpected," the Veyron representative stated, its voice translated by AI systems. "How did your primitive species develop quantum disruption technology?" Sophia stood from her command chair, facing the alien directly. "You attacked us without provocation. You targeted our scientists and civilians first. You underestimated our capacity to adapt and unite against a common threat. These were all miscalculations." The Veyron shifted, its form becoming more solid as if concentrating its existence more fully in normal space. "The Veyron Empire has conquered 17 species across 3 galactic arms. None have ever managed to defeat a full battle fleet. Humanity doesn't want conquest," Sophia replied. "We wanted peaceful coexistence. You made that impossible." "What are your terms?" the alien asked. "Unconditional withdrawal from all human-inhabited systems, a formal non-aggression pact, and data exchange regarding all other sentient species in this sector of the galaxy." The Veyron seemed to consider this for a moment. "And if we refuse?" In response, Sophia simply transmitted data showing the production facilities on Earth, where millions of advanced nanite disruptors were being manufactured daily. "We now understand your biology and technology well enough to target your homeworlds," she said simply. "We don't want to, but we will if forced." There was a long silence before the Veyron responded. "We accept your terms. The Dominants will be permitted to return to Veyron space to communicate your victory and demands." After the transmission ended, the bridge of the Defiant remained silent for several moments. Then, slowly, cheers began to erupt, first from the Defiant, then across the neural network linking all human ships. Admiral Takashi's hologram appeared on the bridge. "Commander Chen, it appears you've just negotiated humanity's first interstellar peace treaty. Well done." Sophia nodded, feeling the weight of the past months finally beginning to lift. "It wasn't just me, Admiral. It was all of us. Every scientist, engineer, soldier, and civilian who came together when we needed it most." In the days that followed, as the damaged human fleet returned to Earth, news of the victory spread throughout what remained of human colonies. Reconstruction began immediately, but something fundamental had changed in human society. The divisions that had defined Earth's history for millennia, nations, ideologies, religions, seemed less significant now. Humanity had glimpsed its potential when united by common purpose. The technologies developed for war were already being adapted for peaceful applications. The neural enhancements that had given human crews their edge in battle were being modified for medical use, helping patients recover from neurological injuries. 6 months after the Battle of Earth, a Veyron diplomatic vessel arrived at the newly constructed Harmony Station in Earth orbit. The peace treaty was formalized, and with it came something unexpected. Information about a galactic community humanity had been unaware of. "They're afraid of us now," Maya told Sophia as they watched the Veyron ship depart. "Not just the Veyron, but other species as well. The news has spread quickly." "Is that a good thing?" Sophia asked. "It's a reality we'll have to manage carefully," Maya replied. "Humanity united is a formidable force. The question is, now that the immediate threat is gone, can we stay united?" Sophia looked at the Earth visible through the station's viewport. Beautiful, blue, and indescribably precious. "We've seen what we're capable of," she said quietly, "both the destructive and the creative. I think we've learned something important about ourselves. As humanity began its recovery and expansion into the galaxy, the story of Earth's desperate stand against the Veyron became legend among spacefaring civilizations. It wasn't just a tale of military victory against overwhelming odds, but a cautionary one as well. The galaxy learned a vital lesson. Underestimate humans at your peril. Push them to the brink of extinction, and you will discover the terrifying reality of what happens when humans declare total war. But the greatest legacy wasn't fear, it was respect. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, not through conquest, but through an unbreakable will to survive and adapt. And that perhaps was the most human quality of all.